Ja, hallo, ich bin Tobias Latzke von base58 und ich sitze heute hier mit Austin Alexander von dem Kraken Exchange und ja, werde Ihnen ein paar Fragen dazu stellen. Austin, we are here in Frankfurt on the Crypto Asset Conference. How do you like it so far?
It's the best. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it so far.
Expected nothing else than that. No, but seriously.
No, it's great. They have, there's a good amount of people that are into crypto and know about it somewhat, but there's a lot of people that really are brand new and they're future experts and they're ready to learn. And the great thing about crypto is you can earn while you learn, so it's all great. Everybody loves it.
So talks like yours about crypto security and private keys are important to the audience, of course, but the other way around, do you think events like this are important for Kraken as well, for awareness or to...
It doesn't hurt. Yeah, I mean, it's to a degree, I mean, of course, yes, the answer is yes. And what is the kind of opportunity cost? Like, could I be doing more? Could I be more impactful if I was sitting in a room alone on a computer? Maybe, but maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. It's probably not the best to be doing this every day, but I think it's nice. It's helpful. It's fun.
Yeah.
You know, great food, great water.
Sure. Yeah, so maybe I should done this first. Maybe you can tell us more about your background and what brought you to crypto and how did you get involved?
Oh, very nice. I first heard about Bitcoin in 2011, in April 2011. I was working at an institution called the Mercatus Center in DC. This is like a economic policy think tank. Then I got into crypto and was reading about it online and, well, Bitcoin, I mean, Bitcoin was all there was back then. And then kind of, you know, forgot about it a little bit. I mean, you know, at least I was obsessed for maybe 2 months, and then I went to a new job doing some election consulting, and it wasn't really for maybe for another 1.5 to 2 years where I got really obsessed again, like 1.5 years, and that was at the beginning of 2013. Then with my boss at the election consulting firm and another young man who was, I think, 18 or 19 years old at the time, we founded the Bitcoin Center in New York, which was basically an exchange. The first physical Bitcoin exchange. We opened a venue in December 2013. We opened a physical venue right next to the New York Stock Exchange, about 30 meters from the New York Stock Exchange.
So where you could go and give your dollars and...
You could, we didn't take any cut. We made 0% off all the trading. It was all the trading was done through counterparts. So we were, just basically a physical venue at the time. But we had to shut down very, very quickly. We did that very short time, and then had to shut down because where previously there had been just a complete lack of any regulation at all. When we shut down, there was still a lack of regulation, but it was coming from the state of New York was like some very stern, some very stern words coming in. That ended up months later kind of becoming the bit license, which now in hindsight, years on, I think is universally seen by all stakeholders in the industry at all levels to be a complete disaster. At the time, New York was it was becoming the center of innovation for the industry. And basically overnight, everyone left, every impactful business left, all the innovation left, and that's never going to be recovered. I mean, they shot themselves in the foot for sure.
The opposite of the do no harm approach.
Oh, it was just it was a complete disaster. I mean, the actual administration of the BIT license has been a complete disaster as well. The regulators don't know what they're doing. The guy left, I'm not going to say his name, but I'm sure he's super benevolent, great guy with the best intentions. Yeah, right. He left immediately and went into private practice consulting companies on how to navigate this labyrinth of nonsense he just created. The actual license itself, the requirements of the to businesses of the license makes businesses less secure, makes consumers less secure if they were to operate with businesses that are abiding by those requirements. It mandates a honeypot of data. It's just absurd.
Yeah, crazy. So now you're with Kraken, and Kraken is an exchange doing not only crypto, but you have a lot of fiat support for euro, British pound, Swiss francs, I think.
No francs, not yet. We have 17 cryptocurrencies. We have 5 fiat currencies. We have euro, dollar, Japanese yen, Canadian dollar, and British pound, and we have a few more that will probably launch sometime this year, in fiats.
So how would you say, how do fiat and crypto exchanges compare to crypto-only exchanges like Poloniex?
I think it's a lot tougher. I think if you look just kind of in the chunked up at the issues of running the exchange, I mean, 95% of the problems can be traced back to the fiat side of things. Just kind of appeasing the banks, getting bank accounts, maintaining the bank accounts, appeasing the banks, maintaining those gateways, those fiat gateways. I mean, it's just quite obvious. The banking system, let me just say it this way. The crypto always works. There's pretty much no downtime. Sometimes the gateways get out of sync. Maybe there's some downtime with the crypto gateways, but it pretty much always works. The banking, not so much.
But the fees are more or less the same, whether you do crypto versus crypto or crypto versus fiat. So this means crypto-only exchanges are more profitable than?
In the short term, yeah, I think they have been more profitable. Just a lot less problems, a lot less effort going into setting it up, lower barrier to entry. Some of these crypto-to-crypto exchanges are run anonymously. They have no KYC. They have no efforts at all to stop money laundering or any things at all. It's just completely anonymous from all levels. For an exchange like Kraken and the kind of the more legitimate mainstream competitors that are integrated into the banking system, there's a lot of work to do just with KYC and anti-money laundering and such. Just that is probably more work than running the entire exchange if you're doing one of these anonymous crypto.
Yeah, I imagine, and this is why me personally I put more trust in exchanges that do also fiat, because I know the entry barrier is much higher, so I have some confidence they will stay longer. I've seen crypto-only exchanges disappear from one day to the other.
Many of them have, many.
But if it is not reflected in higher fees, then it's bad choice as an exchange to do fiat.
In the short term, perhaps, if what you're looking to do is to run an operation for a year or two and then cash out and exit scam, then yeah. But I think long term, as the industry legitimizes and grows, that having the fiat gateways is going to become, it has been and will maybe continue to be, and even more so, a primary of primary importance, especially for price discovery. We've had a period, I think, where a lot of really less than ideal tokens have had big pumps and dumps and rallies, and I think that at all levels the industry will mature, including the retail level, including retail investors, and it'll be a lot tougher to have some, really useless pump and dump forked token reach, a $1 billion market cap and back again. Right now it's so novel. There's like an exuberance that and a lack of rationality that an irrational exuberance that probably won't stick around forever. I think there'll be much more skepticism among retail investors, and obviously for sure amongst larger institutional investors.
Okay, and let's a little bit talk about responsibility, because exchanges, I think, have huge responsibility, and they can do lots of mistakes with very bad outcome. I see three at least topics where we have seen major issues with exchanges. One is, of course, exchanges can get hacked. And as they hold custody of the private keys, then customer funds can be lost. We've seen this with CoinCheck, with NEM coins that have been lost. What did they do wrong? What do you think from your experience with dealing with those things? How did they get hacked? Was it?
Yeah, I believe CoinCheck has admitted that all of the stolen funds were in a hot wallet that was live and connected to the system. So, very basic mistake. You need some coins hot and live for liquidity purposes, and maybe not even. I think there's some exchanges that don't even operate that way. They have batched once a day withdrawals, and there's a trade-off. But to have $600 or $500 million sitting there in a hot wallet is just extremely irresponsible, and asking for exactly what happened to happen. They were just asking for
definitely.
it.
And, was it visible on the ledger that they had all in the hot wallet? I think so, but I don't know either. Okay.
I'm not
so
through the NEM block explorer.
Yeah. So happily, to my knowledge, no incidents so far with Kraken regarding any hacks. So congratulations, you did a good job on this. But there's more responsibility. Another topic is price influence, let's put it like this, and insider trading. We had this alleged insider trading with Coinbase regarding the launch of Bitcoin Cash and the shady relation to CNBC Fast Money. So this is also, yes, of course, you have some knowledge. When you list a new coin, then this has price impact. If you delist a coin or whatever. What's your stance on this?
We have internal policies in place to, it's really need to know about the assets that would be listed and the time frame in which they would be listed, and the kind of stakeholders in that listing process are somewhat monitored. However, this is like, in Coinbase's defense, I should say that this is a really tough one to kind of keep hidden, and to it's not like securities markets or equities markets and any traditional market, because there's thousands of, at this point, maybe not thousands, but there's hundreds of exchanges. I mean, just if you include kind of brokers and local traders and all that, there's really thousands of places to trade crypto. So it's something that I think exchanges are going to have to develop best practices around. I'm not really sure how that's going to kind of hash out. I mean, it's specifically for a company like Coinbase and for Kraken, where like at very high level in the kind of exchange ecosystem, it's particularly important. But if you look at kind of the Telegram groups or trading groups and all that, half the discussion is about these guys are listing this then, and
sure.
It's about the whole, I think as with, for now, this is an issue. I do see the market maturing, hopefully sooner rather than later, and that kind of becoming less. If you look at the price activity from the insider trading of Coinbase listing the Bitcoin Cash, it was just crazy. It was completely irrational. Even from Coinbase listing that, the price activity was so irrational. I think you'll see some maturity in the markets in the future. Just everything is so new, but there is a responsibility on the exchange. The operators of Kraken understand that and are making. I wouldn't want to release like a public statement about that. It's not in my place, but it's definitely something that's since far before the entire Coinbase Bitcoin Cash fiasco has been on the radar, and we've had policies in place since far before that, and I think we're going to see best practices emerge in that regard, and in many other areas of operating these types of businesses, and in the industry in general. It's just kind of, I don't really want to like cast any shade on Coinbase for what they've done. It's just, it's a tough one. I'm sure they needed a lot of people to know about it, to implement, but I think internally, I don't think they did anything wrong legally, most likely. I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, but they need internal policies in place to make sure that the incentives are aligned so that people inside the company know, and it should be in their best interest not to engage in that type of activity. If it's not, I don't know, maybe they need to change their compensation structures.
Yeah, so also no incident with Kraken on this part, and anyway you're not so fast with listing or like other crazy decisions I've seen. Another area of responsibility, of course, is also availability, because people have their funds on your exchange, and if you're down, they cannot access their funds. And of course, we know that there you had some issues with the Kraken exchange, especially end of last year. You had a technology update, and it seems to be fixed now, at least from my personal experience, I can say no issues any longer. Which is also maybe traffic is down because the price is down, and
traffic's still pretty high.
Okay.
If you compare it to maybe it's off of like the record days, but day after day traffic is still rather high at Kraken and kind of across the industry. Kraken might have been an extreme example, but these kind of pains were felt across other exchanges as well, and across the industry. Many exchanges stopped sign-ups of new accounts for a time period. Almost universally, I'm not going to say it was to the extent of the issues at Kraken, but almost universally, many of our main competitors in the top exchanges in the industry had, to some extent or another, capacity issues, performance issues relating to capacity. Kraken had pretty extreme performance issues at times. We've had, I believe, well over 98, 99% uptime since the update was put in place. We have a couple of other major fundamental really large upgrades to make in the short term that should increase capacity even more and increase performance even more. you know, the downtime is really not good. However, you know, the legacy markets, and you know, I don't want to, but major legacy exchanges also have downtime from time to time, and maintaining a crypto exchange is very difficult because it's 24/7, 365. If you look at the New York Stock Exchange or the CME, they have every night, you know, they have 16 hours of, they shut the lights off, and they can do maintenance 8 hours a day or 16 hours a day. They can do maintenance all weekend. They, you know, it's a, you know, it's tough to grow at this kind of the scale that the industry grew at in 2017. There's many challenges from the technical perspective to and the business perspective and all around. But it's like, you know, luckily the Kraken has improved quite a bit since the kind of the worst of the performance issues. I know that Kraken is going to improve quite a bit more to come in terms of performance issues, in terms of performance. But yeah.
So you are ready for how many new customers do you have at the moment?
We're getting many thousands a day, you know, even, yeah.
Crazy.
Many thousands. I don't even want to say how much. It's probably still this way. I haven't checked in days and weeks. I haven't checked in weeks and weeks, but we were getting like, I think 50,000 customers a day on average for weeks on end, man. 50,000 a day on average. Some days a lot more than that. But yeah.
Cool. So maybe turn back to the insider stuff. Are you allowed to hold cryptocurrencies to trade, or is there any limitation for employees?
Well, we should. I personally just hold. I'm not active trader at all whatsoever. Maybe we should issue like a statement on that. I probably shouldn't get into it now. You know, it's like this, you know, say this kind of stuff. No matter what I say right now, it's gonna be misconstrued or maybe correctly construed. But it's not. There's no winning, right? I can't say anything right now that's gonna be good. So.
Okay. And yeah, maybe next question will be same thing, but just as a rough indication, if you had to invest $1,000 on coins now, how would you allocate?
If I had to invest 1,000, it would be very different than if I was advising. First of all, I'm not a financial advisor. I wouldn't advise anybody to do anything. You know, go and buy some treasury notes or something. I don't know, but I think it would depend who I was speaking to. You know, if I was speaking to like maybe a family member in private that had no crypto exposure and they had $1,000 to deploy, I'd probably just tell them, you know, go put $1,000 into Bitcoin.
No, but I mean within crypto, maybe you would say $1,000 just Bitcoin, or
to somebody with no exposure, probably. If somebody already had some understanding and, you know, I don't know. I would just tell them to figure it out themselves. I probably wouldn't give it the advice. If I tell them, you know, I did tell my grandma to buy Bitcoin, and she did, and it's turned out quite well. So, yeah. But that was some time ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if she needs to double down, but probably couldn't hurt. It won't hurt. Won't hurt.
Okay, Austin. Thank you for your time, and yeah, good luck for the further.
Actually, I had forgot about that. I should. Yeah, my grandma has Bitcoin, but please, nobody go target her.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, thank you.